So there's a lot of uncertainties when it comes to the insurance industry. And one thing that I hear get thrown around a lot is closing rates. And it doesn't matter, what meeting I'm on or, who I'm hearing it from. I hear people that are closing at like an 80% close rate. Some people are like, if I get on the phone with them, I can close half of them. I can do 50%. And the truth to all this is, I don't know where they're getting these numbers from, but Grant Cardone, he has a training that says 2% of people will close on their first touch, their first call. I was at a training the other day and Coach Burt said 2.5%. So I'm gonna stretch it out a little bit and say 3%. I was on a different training the other day that said 3% of people will buy today. So what does that tell you? If 3% of people are gonna buy today, how many leads do you have to close one sale today? That's the magic question. So these are real numbers. I'm not telling you I'm going to close 50%, 80%. I may close them later on down the line. So what that's telling me is 97% of people need three things. People need three things before they will buy anything. The first one is trust. So if they're not ready, if they haven't already seen your ads, or something's happened, they passed away, somebody in their family's passed away, or they've lost income due to a circumstance in their life, maybe they had cancer or something like that, caused them to lose everything. If they haven't been through something like that, they're not ready to buy. And people that click on your ads because they're curious of what the coverage is, what it costs, who you are, you know, those are the people that you have to spend time on. So I can legitimately say, on a typical day, if we write 3 apps, 4 apps, whatever it be, one of those will probably be a one call close. That's it. So if I write 3 or 4 apps a day, one of those is a one call close. The other three, 2 or 3 that we write, those are follow ups from the day before, the week before, the month before. Some of them are months. I mean, we have people that we've had on our books for months, just chasing them down. They start the application, just haven't finished it, or we need account and routing number, and they just kind of ghost us. And then all of a sudden, we run through the numbers again and keep calling, keep calling, keep calling. And finally we get that person on the phone and they're thankful. Even though we've been chasing them for months and probably called them 100 times, they're like, man, I know I need to get this done. My wife's been on me and I just been super busy and putting it off. But here's my account number. Here's my routing number. Done. All it took is being persistent, persistently following up. So that's that's what's really important to us, and that's where we do right, honestly, 80 to $100,000 a month in life insurance premium between me and my wife, and that's how. It's not one call closes or anything like that. It's our follow up system. We follow up like crazy. We have a CRM that's sending out email campaigns, follow up campaigns, SMS follow up campaigns. We have all that stuff set up to build trust, certainty, and clarity. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. Those are the three things that a client needs before they will move forward. If they're in that 97% range, first of all, they need trust. They need to be able to trust you, because a lot of people, they just get a phone call out of the blue over a form they filled out. They don't know anything about you. They don't know the company you're writing them with. There's just a lot of unknowns. So they need you to establish trust with them. That way they can move forward. So that's kind of what we do in our CRM. As soon as a lead hits our CRM, they get a link to a landing page that, it says our website / about me. And it has a picture of me, my wife, our NPN numbers, our website, has our business address, phone numbers, all that stuff. And that way, when the client clicks on that, they see it, they're automatically, creating trust with us because they see that we do have a website, we're legitimate, we have an office, they see the address to our office, our phone number, they call if they want. And that's what people need, and a lot of times when you get them on the phone, they're like, okay, well, what company is this with? They say, well, based off of, what you told me, this is the company that I think is the best. This is the company that I think will take you based off of the answers you gave me, with your medical history, your prescription history, your background, things of that nature. So that's number one is trust. Number two is certainty. People need certainty. People need to know that I need to buy this. There's a reason they need to buy this. So you have to establish certainty. So you have to figure out what it is that's working in somebody's mind, because typically the way we do our marketing is I've created the problem already in my ad. And so when somebody fills out a lead, they hit our CRM, they all have the same problem. I don't have to figure out what the problem is. So when it comes to certainty, I share my story with everybody. Every time I get on the phone and I do a presentation, I share my story with everybody of the accident that I went through and almost died. I broke my back, tore a bunch of stuff up in my stomach. I had a colostomy bag for a year. I was in a brace from my hips up to my armpits. And there's more to the story than that, but I share that story with every single person, to show them like I don't do this just because I'm a snake oil salesman or whatever. They need to trust that I have their best interest in mind, and this is why I have your best interest in mind. I've been there. I've been through the storm, the fire, the crap, if you will. Lost everything we had. Lost the cars, the house, all of it gone. Repoed, foreclosed. I mean, the whole deal. So when you can show somebody that you've been through this and this is why you're trying to help people and that this product is going to certainly help their family, that's you building certainty. They need to be certain that this product that you're about to sell them is going to be the solution to their problem. And they need affirmation from you. Sometimes they may need affirmation from their family member, spouse, whatever, before they actually pull the trigger. And it's done. Third thing, clarity. So this is something that I don't see a lot of people do during their application process is to establish clarity. People want to know what's about to happen because there's nothing worse than being put on like I don't want to start the application because I don't know how long it's going to take. It may take an hour. I don't have an hour. I'm driving, I'm about to pull up to get my kids at school or, whatever it is. Those things are in their head. How long is this going to take? So you need to establish that in your presentation. I always say, hey, first and foremost, we need to see if we can even get you qualified. This is after I've gave them three options. They picked a package. They say, I think this one will be the best. Perfect. So, like I said earlier, don't worry about the money today. We don't need money today. We have to first and foremost see if we can even get you qualified. So that's what we're going to do today. It takes about 10 minutes to run through the app, 15 minutes tops. And we're going to ask you a series of health questions. The insurance company is going to pull your prescription history for the last 10 years, your medical history, and that's based off of your social. So just like when you go to the doctor, they put your info in, your file. Every insurance company has access to that through your social security number. So that's all they got to have. They can look it up. That keeps us from having to go to the doctor and do exams and draw blood and pee in a cup, all that weird stuff. Based off your social, they can see everything in your background and they can give us an answer based off of that. And they will pull your criminal history for the last 10 years, also based off of your social, just to make sure you don't have any felonies or any hangups, high risk. That's what they're looking for. It's not really, they're not discriminating or anything like that. It's just a risk thing. Do you have any DUIs or, armed robberies? Do you live a dangerous life? That's what they're looking at. So, like I said, it takes about 10, 15 minutes tops to run through this application. During the application process, they will ask you for your billing info, how you want to set up your payment, when you want to make your first payment. And like I said, they make it pretty simple. 15 minutes, we're done. and it may take a day or two to get a full answer. Um, they may want to look at your background if a couple things pop up, and maybe one or two more questions we get. And also, if you're declined, that's another thing. If you're declined, don't worry about that. I can get about 99% of my clients a package. Once we figure out why you're declined, we can pivot to a different company. So what I've done there with the clarity is I have explained everything that's about to happen, how long it's going to take, what they're going to need. That way they're not caught off guard. And then also there's an uncertainty of, am I going to get approved for this? Because I just told them, first and foremost, we need to see if we can even get you approved. So I just put doubt in their mind. So once I put doubt in their mind, now I have to give them a little bit of clarity as to what's going on to let them, let their guard down, open up. Is there anything, when I go through the health questions, that's when I say, is there anything that you may think will pertain to this application that we haven't already discussed, something that may get you declined? Always ask that question. So we have established three things. We've established trust by everything that I've sent out in the CRM, the phone calls, they've seen my ads. That's where they build the trust. Some of these people, they have to see my ad 20, 30, 50 times, and it has to just re-register. And finally, they pull the trigger on it. Certainty, they need to be certain that this product is going to be the answer to their solution. And number three, clarity, they have to understand what's going on. They need to understand the process and how it's all going to go down, when they're going to pay, how the application process is going to work. That's it. That's the 97%. So if you don't one call close them, that's why they need that. Trust, certainty, clarity. It may take that 7 to 12 touches, email going out, SMS going out, one or two more follow-up calls. Maybe you need to send out an illustration. We write a lot of hospital indemnity too. So that's great because you can send the brochure out. The brochure has the breakdown of what all it's going to pay for and what the monthly cost is per, which package you get. So they can see the price, they can see everything, full transparency. So when I package stuff up like that, I send that out. I send illustrations to their emails, give them a day or two to look at it, maybe a week. Hey, I'll follow up with you on Monday. And what's a good time for you on Monday, morning or afternoon? Follow up. And if they no show me, I follow up, keep calling, keep trying to reschedule them. People are busy. That's the main thing. That's why we lose a lot of people. We're in our minds, what we're thinking is they don't want to talk to us. They're avoiding me. They're avoiding me because I'm trying to sell them something. No, they're not avoiding you because of that. They're avoiding you because they're busy most of the time. And I'm not talking about seniors. I know a lot of seniors retired sitting at home, you know, other than going to the doctors and stuff like that. Most of the time they're at home. But we deal with truck drivers. We specialize in the trucking industry. You think, oh, they're just driving down the road. They can talk. Well, they're delivering, they're dropping off, they're picking up, they're at a shipper. They're talking to dispatch, they're getting pulled over by DOT. There's so many things that could be going on throughout the day. And they book an appointment hoping that they can show up. And if they don't, that's fine. As soon as they don't show up, we're going to send out a text saying, hey, we missed you. When's a good time to follow up? And if they don't answer or respond to that, we're going to call them a couple times, during the day again to try to get them back on the phone to get them to reschedule, because it's easier to reschedule an appointment that's already been scheduled than to schedule one that, you've never talked to. So that's the commitment. That's why every time I get somebody on the phone, I try to get a commitment. I try to get a schedule. An appointment booked. And then if somebody, let's say somebody's like, oh, I can't do the application. I only have about 5 minutes, and I'm next in line to load. I only probably got about 5 minutes. I still need commitment because it's easier to finish up somebody that's already started something than somebody that has no commitment. So I'm like, hey, no worries. This is what we're gonna do. If you got 5 minutes, we're just gonna run through the first section real quick. The basic info. I'm gonna send out the HIPAA signature, and I'm just gonna keep going until you tell me to stop. That way when we do get back on the phone, after you get loaded or whatever, then it'll only take probably 5 minutes instead of 15, because we're most of the way through it now. Oh, okay, let's go ahead and do that. So I always push people into the application. That is the main thing for me. So I need commitment. I don't care if we don't even get halfway through it. As long as somebody starts it, they give you their basic info all the way up to their social. I mean, that's a commitment. I mean, do you have a really high chance of once you get off the phone with them, of getting them back on the phone and finishing the app and getting them to pay and making money? So that's what I want to share with you guys today. I think it's super duper important. I think a lot of new agents miss the fact that they need to follow up like crazy. Follow up, follow up, follow up. That's all you should be thinking about, because if as a new agent, if you buy 20 or 30 leads and statistics show that 2.5, 3% are going to buy today, how many do you think you're going to sell today on 20 or 30 leads? Probably one, probably one. And then you're going to go, man, these leads suck. Like, I bought all these leads. They're supposed to be high intent leads. People kept telling me, this, either they don't have time or call me back later or I didn't fill it out. That you don't worry about those things. As long as somebody doesn't say no, I follow up, follow up, follow up. When somebody tells me no, I appreciate that. No, I'm not interested. No, I thought this was something else. Perfect. Get that person out of my CRM, out of my leads. That way I don't waste time calling them again. I don't have sometimes we give leads to people that are new, older leads, and I don't want those people calling those same people, wasting their time. So huge. Think about that when you're calling leads. I have 20 to 30 brand new leads. What does that tell me? You're probably going to one call close one of those. I went through leads like crazy. Like, I did not follow up when I was running final expense. I was just buying more leads and buying more leads and buying more leads and buying more leads. All I was doing was looking for the buyers. I didn't even realize that. I was looking for the buyers. Out of a batch of leads, let's say I bought 20 leads. Hopefully I wrote 2 or 3 apps. I was seeing people face to face. There's a lot of times I'd have to reschedule. They'd no show me. I go back to their house. But after that week, those leads were for that week. Once that week was over, I always felt like I exhausted those leads. And I would just buy a new batch, start fresh, new week, new leads, new week, new leads. And those leads, I don't know how much money that I just left in these folders. There was just piles of money in these folders because I didn't follow up with those people. They were interested, they just weren't ready right now. Why? Because they didn't have trust and certainty and clarity. And I didn't know that. So knowing what I know now, that's what's got me with the experience and things like that. That's what's gotten us to writing 20 to 30K plus every single week in life insurance premium. So guys, that's my tip for the day. Follow up, follow up, follow up. And people need three things: trust, certainty, clarity. And anyways, y'all have a good day. Thanks for listening. And got a few more videos for you guys to watch. Please click to subscribe, and that'd be awesome. I appreciate the watches, and hope it helps somebody.